Rangers have taken a massive stride forward in the transfer window, and this could just be the beginning of what promises to be a whirlwind summer at Ibrox. Reports coming out today confirm that the club has reached an agreement for the signing of a new defender, a move that signals intent and a desire to do business early. With preparations for the new season already in full swing behind the scenes, this latest development highlights a club that's not waiting around. Decisions are being made swiftly, and the early activity suggests there's a clear plan in place. As Rangers gear up for what will be a high-pressure campaign both domestically and in Europe, the fan base will no doubt be keeping a close eye on every rumor, every deal, every move. Because this first piece of business could set the tone for everything else to come. The timing of the deal couldn't be more significant. The new season isn't far off, and Rangers know they can't afford to start slow. After falling short last term, there's a sense of urgency in every corner of Ibrox. That urgency is reflected in how quickly the club is moving to shape the squad, and the first transfer agreement being wrapped up already is a clear statement of intent. The expectation isn't just to compete, it's to win, to take the fight to Celtic, and to make a mark on the European stage. And to do that, the work needs to start now. Enter Russell Martin. The new manager has barely had time to settle in. Officially unveiled just recently, but he's wasting no time getting to grips with his new role. In his first sit-down interviews, Martin was clear he expects at least 1 or 2 new faces through the door before Rangers play their first competitive match of the season, which will be none other than a Champions League qualifier scheduled for late July. That match is a huge one, not just in terms of prestige or finances, but for the momentum it can provide at the start of a long and demanding campaign. Martin knows it, the board knows it, and the players know it. With the clock ticking, Martin has already identified several key areas in need of reinforcement. Speaking about his early plans, the new boss admitted there are a few positions where the squad needs strengthening fairly quickly and fairly early on. His approach, though, is far from rigid. He's keeping an open mind and even said he's willing to be surprised by some of the players already at the club. According to him, the new style of play and fresh ideas being introduced could bring out the best in individuals who maybe haven't shown their full potential yet. But that doesn't mean reinforcements won't be needed. Quite the opposite. Martin was honest about the need for help before that crucial 2-leg tie in Europe. He didn't commit to a specific number of signings, saying instead that the reality of the transfer window is unpredictable. Deals can take time, complications can arise, but the priority is clear: have at least a couple of new players integrated into the group by the time Rangers line up for that Champions League clash. It's a tall order, but one the manager is embracing. Hayden! That blend of urgency and flexibility might just be what Rangers need in this transitional phase. One player who looks set to move in the opposite direction, however, is Robin Proper. After just a single season in Glasgow, fresh reports from the Netherlands are suggesting that the centre-back is on the verge of returning home. The 31-year-old arrived last summer from FC Twente, brought in as an experienced leader, someone who could help fill the void left by Connor Goldson's absence. Expectations were high. Prepper had been a captain in the Eredivisie and came with a solid reputation, but things haven't gone entirely to plan. According to Dutch outlet 20 Fans, Prepper has reached an agreement to rejoin his former club with a 3-year contract reportedly in place. No transfer fee has been mentioned yet, but all signs point to a return to Enschede becoming reality in the very near future. It would mark a swift end to a spell that's been mixed at best. On paper, 39 appearances and 2 goals across. So all competitions isn't a bad return, and he'll always be remembered for opening the scoring in a dominant 3-0 firm win over Celtic back in January. But those flashes of promise have been offset by inconsistency and physical struggles adapting to the Scottish game. Injuries certainly didn't help his cause, and his performances were often met with criticism. If the move back to Twente goes through as expected, Prepper will be gone before having the chance to play under Russell Martin. The timing is noteworthy. A new era beginning at Ibrox, just as one of last summer's major signings quietly exits the stage. For Prepper, a return to familiar surroundings could be exactly what he needs to reboot his career. For Rangers, it opens up another slot in the squad and perhaps frees up some wages to go towards building Martin's vision. The new manager's arrival has sparked plenty of debate among fans. Some see potential in the former Southampton boss, Others are still to be convinced, but Martin himself has been open about his motivations and what drew him to the role. Reflecting on his appointment, he said this was the job he truly wanted, not just another step on the ladder, but something deeper. The size of the club, the weight of expectation, the passion of the supporters. That's what spoke to him. He admitted that his last spell at Rangers as a player left him with regrets, and now he's determined to rewrite that chapter. He wants to show a different version of himself this time around, one that leaves a legacy. He also revealed that he was upfront about his interest from the start. While others may have played it cool, Martin told his agent from the beginning that this was the job he wanted. There was no game playing, no waiting for better offers. This was the challenge he was ready for. That kind of honesty and commitment will no doubt endear him to a section of the fan base hungry for a manager who genuinely gets what Rangers is all about. As he sets about shaping the team for the season ahead, Martin's immediate focus will be on the players he has the gaps he needs to fill and getting the new faces in as quickly as possible. It's a period of transition, no doubt, but also one of opportunity. With a Champions League qualifier looming, every day matters. Meanwhile, former manager Filipe Cleman has shared his thoughts on the current state of the club and the challenge ahead for Martin. Speaking from abroad, Cleman urged fans and the club to show patience with a new coach. Since his dismissal back in February, a lot has changed at Rangers. Not least the ownership, with a USA-based group completing a full takeover and handing the reins to Martin as permanent head coach. Reflecting on his own tenure, Cleman highlighted the instability that's plagued the club over recent years. He stressed that success won't come without unity from the fans, the board, the players, and the staff. Cleman also touched on the pressure Martin will face to start strong, acknowledging that skepticism is natural when a new face steps in. But he warned that without patience and a consistent approach, the gap to Celtic will never close. His own experience at Ibrox taught him that the club has potential. He won the League Cup just 2 months into the job, but also that internal chaos can undermine progress quickly. The Belgian believes that the owners must now provide the stability and support needed to build something lasting. For Cleman, the Rangers' job was always about more than just the results. It was about building a culture, a foundation that could stand the test of time. Now, with Russell Martin at the helm and a fresh vision beginning to take shape, Rangers stand at yet another crossroads. The early moves in the transfer window suggest lessons have been learned and that decisive action is finally being taken. But what comes next will depend on more than just who's signed and who's sold. It would depend on whether the club can finally stick to a plan, back their manager fully, and allow the new era to breathe. The truth is, Rangers have been here before. New managers, big promises, flashes of optimism. All of it has come and gone in recent years, but what's been missing is consistency. That's exactly what Russell Martin will be judged on. Not just results in the short term, but whether he can build something that actually lasts, something the fans can believe in beyond just a few wins. He's stepping into a job that demands everything: energy, resilience, thick skin, and he knows it. The expectations at Ibrox are never low, and they never will be. But what makes this moment feel different is that for the first time in a while, there's at least the potential for a proper rebuild. The new ownership group brings fresh ideas and, more importantly, the financial backing that could allow Martin to implement his vision without the kind of restrictions his predecessors faced. That being said, nothing will come easy. Celtic remain the team to beat. They've got the recent silverware, the rhythm, and the squad continuity that gives them a head start every season. Rangers, on the other hand, are still trying to figure out who they are. Last season ended with more questions than answers. A League Cup win under Cleman showed there was some fight left, but back-to-back disappointments in the league and the Scottish Cup final stung deeply. Getting knocked out by a second-tier side like Queen's Park didn't just damage confidence, it exposed how fragile things had become. The dressing room looked flat, the energy was off, and the fans knew it. That's the environment Martin walks into. A fan base that's hungry but bruised, a squad that's talented in places but inconsistent, and a league that punishes slow starters. His job isn't just to win games. It's to reignite belief, to show that Rangers are not just reacting to failure, but proactively chasing progress. That starts with creating a clear identity on the pitch. Martin has already hinted that his football philosophy will demand a lot from the players. It's about bravery, control, intensity, not just kicking and chasing, but playing with purpose. The kind of football that can dominate weaker sides while still holding up against tougher European opponents. But philosophy alone won't win points. That's where recruitment becomes critical. Bringing in players who fit that identity, who understand the pressure of wearing the Rangers shirt, and who have the mentality to push through the rough patches. That's what will define this window. The early signing of a defender is a good start, but it's only the beginning. The squad still needs depth, especially in key areas where the physical grind of a full Scottish season can take its toll. Injuries, suspensions, fixture congestion. It all adds up. Martin's going to need more than just a solid starting 11. He'll need options variety and players who are ready to step in and perform without a drop in quality. He's also going to need leaders in that dressing room. With Robin Pröpper likely on his way out, Rangers lose an experienced head. Whether he fulfilled expectations or not, his presence mattered. The next wave of signings will have to include characters who can handle the weight of the badge, players who don't just want the move, but who understand what it represents. Martin's own words show he gets that. He knows this club isn't like the others. The pressure, the spotlight, the intensity from fans, it's relentless. But it's also what makes success here mean so much more. Former manager Filipe Cleman's message only reinforces that. He wasn't bitter, but he was honest. He talked about how things unraveled last season, how the instability wore down the club from the inside. His point was simple. Rangers need to stop starting over. The cycle of hiring and firing, of chasing quick fixes hasn't worked. Now, with a new structure in place and a manager who actually chose this job above all others, there's a window, a real chance to do it differently. But patience will be crucial. That doesn't mean accepting failure or mediocrity. It means giving a clear project the time to breathe, trusting the process even when the results aren't instant. Rangers fans aren't naive. They know how quickly things can spiral, but they also know what this club is capable of when everyone pulls in the same direction. There's history here, legacy, and a responsibility to live up to it. That's what Martin has walked into. A club that demands trophies, but also one that's crying out for stability. Whether he's the man to deliver, that remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the next few months will be absolutely crucial. Everything from preseason to that Champions League qualifier, from who comes in the door to who's shown the exit, it all matters. Every training session, every friendly, every press conference will be watched, analyzed, debated. That's the reality of Rangers, and it's also the beauty of it, because when things go right here, when the team's flying and the fans are singing, there's nothing else like it. Martin knows what's at stake. He's not here to coast or to make up the numbers. He's here to win, to challenge, and to bring pride back to Ibrox. Now, it's about action. About getting the signings right, about setting the tone in preseason, and about making sure Rangers don't just start strong, but stay strong. The margin for error is thin. The pressure is real, but so is the opportunity. This summer could be the start of something big if the club gets it right. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a growing murmur swirling around Ibrox this week, as whispers suggest that Kilmarnock's talisman Danny Armstrong could be on the verge of a sensational switch to Rangers. While no official confirmation has been made by either club, the rumor mill is in full swing, with fans and pundits alike speculating over the winger's future. Armstrong, who has enjoyed a standout season at Rugby Park, has been instrumental in Derek McInnes' side securing a top-half finish, with his pace, creativity, and eye for goal catching the attention of several clubs across the Premiership. But it's Rangers who are now being tipped as frontrunners in the race for his signature, amid reports that negotiations have quietly taken place behind closed doors. The 26-year-old, who has previously been linked with moves to England, may now see Ibrox as the ideal platform to take the next step in his career, challenging for domestic honours and testing himself on the European stage. It's understood that Rangers boss Filipe Cleman is keen to bolster his attacking options ahead of what is expected to be a pivotal campaign, and Armstrong's proven track record in the Scottish top flight makes him an attractive proposition. Sources close to the player suggest that Armstrong is flattered by the interest, though he remains fully committed to Kilmarnock for the time being. That said, in the notoriously unpredictable world of Scottish football transfers, Such situations can evolve rapidly. If the deal were to materialize, it would represent a significant coup for Rangers, adding a player well versed in the rigors of the Premiership, while offering Armstrong the opportunity to showcase his talents on one of the country's grandest stages. Of course, both clubs have maintained a stony silence amid the mounting speculation, fueling further intrigue. Whether there's genuine substance to the chatter or it remains just that, talk, only time will tell. But for now, it's a storyline that's capturing the imagination of Scottish football fans from Glasgow to Ayrshire and beyond. Greetings! Fans, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.